Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 95 of the All Four Back podcast, where we bring you all the news, action, and reaction from the last week of STS action. I'm, of course, Chester 430, joined, as always, by a full house of broadcasters tonight. I start off by saying a very good evening to Hadlington. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Dan. Good evening, everyone.
A very good evening to Shads.
Evening all.
And a good evening to Mr. Tank.
Evening.
So, on tonight's programme of episode 95, we have the Neil Potter Shield second leg reviews of Storm versus Spartans and Wolves versus Dragons. We have Shads' Rider of the Week. We also have the Ellesmere Port Panthers season review by Shads with guest Capesy. And then the all-important World Championship qualifiers, draws, and semi-final 1 and semi-final 2 previews to get through. So, without any further ado, let's crack on with the first bit of action. And we start with the Neil Potter Shield second leg reviews, Storm against Spartans. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Tank with Shads and Hads.
Thank you very much. Yes, so the second leg of the Storm versus Spartans was a more closer contest than the first leg. I predicted last week it would be going the way of the Spartans, which it did. Obviously, on aggregate, they won 122 to 70, but they won by 18 points on the night, 57-39. It was a very tightly contested meeting. Probably the scoreline probably had a bit of a gap between it. But it didn't show in the race in itself. Everyone was up for it and vying for positions, and very much how I expected it to go, really. For a neutral, very nice. Notable riders that done well on the night. TJ found his form at his home track, better late than never. And then you had Ads, who rode very well all night, at Stefan, as we've come to expect. So it was quite good. I'll come to you first, Shads. You scored 7 on the night, and let's talk about your first ride. You must have been pleased with that one.
Yeah. When I was in junior school, the last day of summer term before holidays was a day where we just took board games in. There was no schoolwork. It was great, so relaxing. This is how I felt the other night. The feeling that one more day and it'll all be over. Ironically, we had one of our best practice sessions the night before. We had a proper laugh. You know, the feeling when you're smiling so much your jaw aches. That was me. I think we did about 2 hours practice solid, and we were joking throughout. It was a lovely atmosphere. And as for the meeting itself, we were hampered from the start with Ryan unavailable and Heppel forgetting the meeting was on. Luckily, Cam had already accepted to guest for Ryan the day before and did a good job in the unfamiliar number 1 position. Wesley made himself unavailable a couple of days earlier, so I was set to skip at the side on the night, but then he changed his mind the next day and rode. I secured Baz as a guest about 45 minutes before the meeting. When Heppel finally answered the message I'd sent him in the morning saying he was unavailable, a Method only came into practice about 15 minutes before the start after putting his kid to bed. So a couple of our riders were a little bit under practice. I mean, it was our best performance against the Spartans all season. And I managed, like you said, to hold Stefan off for 4 laps in Heat 1. Only one of 3 Storm riders to have beaten him at King's Lynn this season in the 3 times we faced them. Unfortunately, TJ is organising one more farewell meeting at King's Lynn for the week after the World Championship final. So it's one more trip back to King's Lynn.
And Hads, for you scored 6+2 on the night. Pretty much similar. Pleased with that result, that personally, and obviously with the overall win.
Yeah, I think the win was the more important thing rather than the points in this one. But 6 and 2, I could have done a bit better. I think obviously I got a last place in there, but that race was really close, so I'm not going to complain with that one. But it was nice to get a 5-1 in heat number 5 against Shads after he made that blinder of a start in heat 1. I was like, must have got his. I don't know what happened there.
It was back to normal gating in heat 5, Hads.
To be fair, I didn't make that bad a start in heat 1. It was just his start was that good that I was just like left nowhere, and yeah, battles all right, quite well for the point, but I think it was more of a professional job. We did what we had to do, really, kind of thing. I mean, the second half of the meeting, run away with it a little bit more, but I mean, the first half, there was what 6 3-3s, and there was none in the second half. So I think both teams would just give it all. Second half really, and obviously decent scores all the way through the team as well. Bit of a nice team performance to cap off the tie, but yeah, pretty pleased with the result. I was actually offered Heat 16 as well, but
Boo to DL Shaw. Boo to DL Shaw. Putting Stefan and Ads in Heat 16 with me against me and Wesley. I mean, come on. Boo.
I mean, to be fair, I was offered Heat 16. I raced in the race previous, and I said no, to be honest, because I wasn't really getting on with the track all that well on the night. So it's one of those, I suppose. But yeah, the tie was there. It was done. So I was a bit surprised that none of the other lads come forward and took their spot. But we have to thank Cappy as well for guesting for DL on the night. So fair play to him with his 2 Heat wins as well. Nice to ride alongside him.
Yeah, I was going to mention about Cappy's guest appearance. He never said anything until I saw that he was riding, so and he goes quite well there. So he was unlucky in a couple of races. Stefan also missed out on getting a maximum in his last race. No, his first race, sorry. As a result of Shaz beating him, so and at least the all important maximum was beaten there. I think for Storm, I think obviously Baz coming in last minute. I will say this now. I think it was his first ride. He deserved more. He only got 3 third places and a last overall. He deserved more. He was leading his first race and he looked so comfortable. But yeah, middle of the race it went a bit Pete Tong, a little bit.
He's
But
a 4-point reserve riding at number 3, so
yeah,
but against the league champion, so you can't expect too much.
Yeah.
No,
I do have to say though, I think as Shad's mentioned on about the practice server, we noticed actually the day before that you'd opened for like over 2 hours with a practice server.
Yeah, that was that session. Yeah, that was that.
But that was obviously,
I mean,
and you said
even Ryan, it was Ryan that opened, even though he wasn't riding, and he opened the server up. Just,
I was going to say, like,
I think there was 7 of us in it. There was 6 or 7 of us in it.
With the 2 guests you had in there as well, Cam and Hobnob, obviously, we all know they're good entertainment when they're in servers. So, do you think that made a bit of a difference to the server?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, we had, I think Cam was Westy, me, TJ. I think Mark W. No, Meg Lamont joined us as well. Meg Lamont had a few laps with us. So yeah, it was good. It was fun. It was like, obviously there was no pressure. We just decided we was going to enjoy it. And you can see in chat that it was no one having hissy fits. Cam, and one of the reasons I picked Cam was because I thought it'd be a great laugh in meeting chat with TJ, because them two were always having a go at each other. I thought we'd liven it up a little bit.
Yeah,
it didn't disappoint.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Yeah, that was how it should be had. Some people put too much pressure on themselves to perform and score, and it didn't really matter to us. It didn't really matter to you. You were never going to lose an aggregate, but all of you got at least a paid win. So you did your job.
Yeah,
but it was still fun. Still enjoyed it.
A fairly entertaining second leg, and pretty much how I saw it going. So it was a win for the Peterborough Spartans on the night and on aggregate, and they proceed to the Neil Potter Shield final, which is about a week's time. And that is the end of the review. And over to you, Chester.
Thank you, Tony, for that. And yeah, congratulations to the Spartans. As you said, they're winning on the night and on aggregate. And they now have their place in the Neil Potter Shield final, where they will be joined by the Hastings Dragons as they took on the Wolverhampton Wolves with a finishing score of 54-42 and an aggregate score of 79-113. This match was a lot closer on paper than expected, especially for the first few races. It only sort of turned on its head on that Heat 5 with Wolfie and Stephen 101. Now, of course, Wolverhampton contrast very different track to Hastings, so tactical racing and where the position of bike on the track a lot different than Hastings and Wolverhampton. There were some races where most riders at the start, they went out wide from gate 3 or 4. They went right to the outside of the fence and kicked the fence over and went back, and then went straight for that inside line on turn 3 and 4. Turn 4 was the most important part of that meeting because everyone was getting caught out by it, and even the home riders themselves were getting caught out by it as well. Tank, I'll bring you in first if I can, bud, as I always do. A good meeting as a neutral. The expected result after the first leg, do you reckon?
Very much so. The expected result. I would say probably in one sense I was surprised it wasn't a bigger win for Dragons, but then it depended on what Wolves team turned up to how close they could keep it on the night to be respectable. So yeah, it went the way I expected, and even though Wolves only had the one guest in, Birchie doing 2 meetings, and that twice in a row, it was it went how I expected it to go, to be fair, and it was nice to see Sizzler obviously missing out on the last meeting, but scoring 11. He was unlucky in his first one, but he's very consistent there afterwards. Unfortunately, obviously Baz didn't do well in this meeting after obviously riding in the last meeting as well. So, but still, they put up a good account of themselves, and they didn't let it slide. Just like Storm, they gave it their all, even though it was a foregone conclusion pretty much. So, and it was fair play to them. And as for the Dragons, they did quite well. Solid throughout, knew the job they needed to do, and they didn't let their lead slip like they did in the Knockout Cup. So that was good for them. And obviously, Cam lost his maximum in his last ride. So there's 2 riders, Stefan and Cam, in the 2 meetings that lost their maximums in their first and their last heat. So
I was about to say with Cam, they're scoring like a 15-point max going into that Heat 16. And of course, he was being backed up by the referee of the night, Stephen 101 with 10. But of course, scored their number 1 position, 13 plus 1 from his 6 rides, showing what he can do as a number 1 rider. Hads, I'll bring in if I can, bud. Again, as a neutral perspective, I mean, even though the Wolves were down a rider, they were missing Lima, had to operate RR. Do you think that swung the tide in Dragon's favour?
Yeah, I think so. Although rider replacement, Wolves did pretty well, to be honest. In the first half of the meeting, they had the 6 points from the first 3 rides, and just the 2 in the latter part they didn't score, unfortunately. But at number 2, Bewitcher is very strong to take 2 rider replacement rides at Wolves, as you see from his score there, 13 plus 1. He was unlucky not to score a few extra points as well. Obviously, the bit of a talking point was that Heat 14 with the in the grass on the first bend, and I'm not going to comment on it because I've been there myself, and I know what it's like. So the race was left to run, and it was reviewed, and it wasn't rerun, and he sat in the grass, unfortunately for him. So yeah, it was a stroll for Cam in that one with JC chasing, but I was impressed by the fight put up by the Wolves, to be honest. Even though I think Birchie messaged in our team chat an hour before that he got the call up to ride, so he didn't have a lot of practice going in. So he done quite well considering. Which as Tank said, Sizzler was unlucky in his first one, just crashing on that last corner when he was in second place as well. So, but that bend 3 and 4, I think the first 5-6 heats, the amount of people that passed on that last bend and hit and just nailed it and got points on that last corner. I mean, the racing was really, really close, but Yeah, I was impressed, to be fair, by some of the passing on the night. But I think from the number one position for Dragons, Squall leading by example there, 13+1. I mean, that is just obviously showing that he can void at that level at number one.
Yeah.
Regularly. So even obviously you said backed up by Cam with that 17 points. He was flying out the starts, and once he was gone, and I know that last he'd have wanted that maximum. He tried the inside on the last bend 1 and 2 on the last lap, and JC just rode around him and nailed the last bend and won it. But yeah, very impressed by both teams. Good fight, and looking forward to the final now.
Yep, so the stage is set. It will be the Peterborough Spartans against the Hastings Dragons for the Neil Potter Shield. Leg 1 taking place the week commencing the 1st of March, with the second leg week commencing on the 8th of March. Dates to be confirmed with the riders, captains, and officials in STS, of course. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to the one we're all looking forward to during the week, and it is the Rider of the Week with Mr. Shad. Shad, take away, mate.
Dropping just 1 point away from home for the Dragons at Wolves on Tuesday and doing well as a Storm guest on Monday. My rider of the week is Cameron Leckie.
So now we have the next team review, which will be of the Ellesmere Port Panthers. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Mr. Shad.
After finishing bottom of the league last season, Capesier assembled a side that, while it didn't look like title challenges, was surely good enough to forfeit the wooden spoon they held. They managed to scrape together 9 points overall, and thanks to a very poor Cowboys side, the wooden spoon was not being retained. There were some positives. Panthers managed to keep the same 7 riders throughout the season, not having to rely on any guests for the entire league campaign, and only used rider replacement on 3 occasions, something you don't often see from teams that are struggling for results. Kempsey managed to juggle the squad quite well, with 6 of the 7 riders racing in at least 6 meetings, with 3 other presents in Mareki, Cappy, and Capesy himself. But when you have 5 of the 7 riders in the squad drop their averages, and not by any significant amount, that often spells danger. The only wins came against the Cowboys home and away, and Wolves at home. A thumping 60-36 win at home to the Cowboys was probably their highlight of the season. Another positive was Mareki looking like a genuine number one, holding together the side with some fantastic scores, as well as pushing Stefan all the way in the Grand Prix series. Let's have a look at the individual riders. Start with Mareki, whose average was up 0.78. Mareki stepped up massively this season to the number one spot with some impressive performances. Also had a very good GP campaign, pushing Stefan all the way to the end. Chester, our Chester. His average was actually up this season by 0.38. Steady improvement from the boy, but he struggled at Ellesmere Port, scoring just 10+2 from his 4 meetings there, averaging below 3, I think. His score of 10+2 Milton Keynes shows what he can do when he's in the mood. Sky Rider, his average was down 0.67. Guy started the season with quite a high, but in my opinion, deserved average thanks to his performances with the Spartans last season. He's change of job hasn't really helped. It's hampered his racing a little bit. Missing meetings here and there doesn't really help. So it's no surprise his average dropped a little. Stephen, average down 0.73. Another one who's had a decent average from the Spartans campaign last season. Tank hasn't had the best of times, probably due to the workload he's put himself under with all the media work he's doing, YouTube recordings, and this podcast. They seem to be taking out a lot of his time lately. Tintin, average down 0.87. not TT's finals campaign, unfortunately. He didn't manage a heat win all season and only 4 second places in his 6 meetings, so it's no surprise his average has suffered. Happy averaged down 1 point. Happy ended last season as the Panthers' #1, so with less pressure on him this time, it's surprised to me that he didn't. His average dropped by so much. Still, a 7.15 average in a side that struggled for most of the season is pretty decent. And he's a really great lad to have around. I think everyone who's ridden with him would agree with that. And finally, Capesy averaged down 1.03. Quite a big drop in scores for Capesy this season. I can't really put my finger on why. Find out right now when we introduce him, this week's guest, Panther skipper and my former boss for 1.5 seasons. Good evening, Mr. Capes.
Good evening, guys.
Capesy,
How are we all?
I'm going to cut to the chase, mate. What on earth happened to you this season?
Well, you can't polish a turd, can you, mate? Let's be honest. I don't know. In practice, I was doing fine. Strolled up to the meeting thinking, I'll get some points. Next minute, you know, I'm getting the Olympic rings as Tank decided to call it halfway through the season. So, yeah, it was a bit annoying. If I could put my finger on it, I would. Maybe punching a laptop probably didn't help halfway through.
Oh, God.
Oh dear.
No.
Luckily enough, that was an old laptop because this one I still needed to race a few heats on. But yeah, it was just frustrating for me. All right. As a team in general, we didn't get the wooden spoon, which is nice. I don't have to hold that. But yeah, for me, performance-wise, without sounding like I'm beating myself up, it was just rubbish.
There were some positives. Casey. I mean, Marecki, he had a fantastic season for you. He's finishing third in the overall league averages. If we discount Limo, who only rode in 2 meetings, you must be pleased with. You chose him to be your #1, and you said earlier it was your golden pick.
Yeah, I'm so happy to see a season with a #1. In this third year, third year back, it's nice to have a rider that I know that will go out there and score the points. I don't think there was how many last places did he get? 7.
Yeah, not many.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas previous #1s might as well have they probably would have got 3 times that.
Yeah,
But
53% win average as well.
yeah, exactly. So he's a rider that I could trust that would do the job. I'll be honest, he carried us in most of the, if not all the meetings to keep the score respectable. Whereas without him, like, no offense to the rest of the team, but without him, it could have been a hell of a lot more defeats, like by bigger margins as well.
Yeah, he held the team together really well. I mean, he didn't
He did.
disappoint. I think he only had one poor meet where he scored like 4 or 5 points. Apart from that, he was
Yeah,
up there every meeting, wasn't he?
yeah, he was. Yeah, and the weird part is we'd all be trying like your grey or your light blue bike. He'd rock up, try the purple, and we're like, "How are you getting this to work? How?" Like
we've wondered that all season.
we're trying our best to work with one bike on the line. He rocks up with totally different bike, and we're like, "Oh God, here we go. What's he doing here?" Next minute, you know, takes him 3 races to figure out the line. Then he's gone, and we're like, "Look, where's he gone?" But yeah,
He's certainly been there. Your star man this season.
yeah,
Were you
100%.
disappointed? Were you disappointed you didn't manage more league points this season with that decent
Uh,
looking things? It was a good starting lineup. I mean, a good starting 7, I thought.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was the way that I put it together. I thought to myself, right, we'll be all right here. The aim was to get like third. I wanted to try and get third. I know it's a big step from holding the rest of the league up because we're big and strong. But yeah, the aim was third, and then sometimes I get it's a game and we all have lives. If you're ever in the Panthers team, you'll understand that. I won't pressure you to train, but
No, I can vouch for that.
It's nice. Like we'd open up a few days, like you'd get the main core was probably Chester, me, Cappy, Skyrider before he changed his job. Tintin and Tank would join in when they can. Mareki was the same. So you'd get your core three of obviously me, Cappy, and Chester. But if there's only two of you, you're only practicing off the inside 2 gates. If there's only 3 of you, you're practicing off the inside 3 gates. So you can't really work on the whole track.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help, does it?
No. You need at least 4 every time you open. But yeah, it is what it is. Like I'm happy that we didn't get rock bottom. I'm happy that I don't have the wooden spoon for another off season. Hopefully the off season won't be too long. But yeah, I am gutted that we didn't get more than 9 points. But again,
you mentioned about your aim was to finish third. I mean, I think the result at Wolves in the penultimate meeting was a huge disappointment for you and the team.
Massively. It was like a kick in the nuts. We went there, and I'm sure Tank and Chester will vary this as well because they were in they've been in team chat, that we was all fairly confident of being able to pick something up. But then all of a sudden you turn up and Bewitcher has a night like Bewitcher from 8 seasons ago or however long ago where he was scoring double figures. And then you look at the other meetings where other riders in that team have got like 3-4 points. And you think to yourself, where's these riders this week? And yeah, if we'd gone there, maybe we were probably a little bit too overconfident. And that was our downfall. But yeah, it is what it is. We move on. Next season, we go again. Whether this team's still together well, I'll be honest, looking at the averages, they probably won't be. But you get what I mean. It'd be nice to keep a few of the guys because they're all top lads. Anyone that plays the game is a good lad, apart from the purple dinosaur because he's just annoying. But yeah, it'd be nice to see us all carry on racing, even if we're not in the same team. It'd be nice to see everyone race again.
Had you got anything to add?
Yeah, I was just going to ask Cabsy, do you think being captain has actually lowered your own racing with the points, with your average?
Why you have to ask this difficult question?
That's what I'm here for.
That's what you're here for.
I used to lie to you, Hans. I used to lie to you, Hans. I don't think I do anymore, mate. Possibly. But the way I started the season, it didn't show that effect. Come when, because I guess at the start of the season, there's not a lot of pressure, is there? Because it's new season. All right, it's nice to start off with a win. But with it being a new season, you're just like, let's just see how it goes. Come the nitty-gritty part, I think probably I let too many managerial choices get the better of me and my racing suffered. But that's an excuse. I don't want to make an excuse. If I'm honest, I just rode the second half of the season like a bag of poo. So yeah, it was no. I don't think it did. If I'm honest, mate.
Yeah, but you say that, and then obviously I remember we was practicing before the last SCS meeting of the season, and you was like, "I need to pull something out the bag here," and you was like,
I did.
And you pulled it out, and you made the semi-final, and you rode probably the best you'd rode since the first half of the season, and so you know it's in there.
Yeah, we won't talk about that semi-final anyway, will we, Shads? Dive bombing me. I was beautiful in seconds.
Well, you got a good memory. I'd forgotten all about that.
I was well excited. I was like, I'm going to a final. Oh no, Shads is here.
I remember the races that I ride against people that are better than me.
Well, sugar. I nearly said something else then. Um,
Tank can edit it out. Don't worry.
no, I don't mind Tank leaving it in. It's more fun, isn't it?
As with
But yeah, that meeting then for the SCS, like you just said, I said to you that I need a hell of a meeting here. And I'm not a gator. I'm far from a gator. I am like one of them that'll be like, oh, I missed the gate by about a mile. They're on bend 2 and I'm just coming out to start. But again, I'm one of them that I'll try a different line to see if there's more speed. And then when I fall further back, I'm like, okay, maybe I just need to sit here. But yeah, yeah, I know that I'm capable of it. But it's just bringing that form back.
So I have while we've got some other Panthers.
Poor lads. I'm sorry, boys.
Mr. Chester, I've got a question for you.
Oh, here we go.
Be nice, please.
Hang on.
Don't.
Oh dear. Well, you scored more points away from home than you did at Ellesmere Port, despite having more meetings. What do you put that down to?
I just could not get the track right. Ellesmere. We had like a selection of tracks we had start of the season.
A wide range of tracks.
It was a wide, wasn't it, mate? Wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Ellesmere, Port, or Weymouth. Take your pick.
Or Mildenhall.
Yeah.
we had Ellesmere Port, Cradley.
Were they the choices, really?
Yeah.
Kings Lynn, Mildenhall, and Weymouth.
Right.
That's what we had. And to start with, Cradley was the one that we all sort of wanted. But we did like a point system, and Ellesmere was like 2 points in front of Cradley. I was like, damn, really? So I had to deal with Ellesmere. But I mean, even though like I made the target was like just to score points anywhere I got them, like whether it was like 1 point or 5 points. But I just could not get the track right at all during the entire season. No matter what I tried Mareki's idea with the purple bike. I tried doing light. I did like blue, like cyan. I did white bike, and just nothing went right. And it was a shame because it was a good, great bunch of lads, as Capesy's already said. But I just didn't put my fair share of work in, unfortunately, and it showed on track. So. But
hey, you did because you're up to average, mate. So you
Well,
obviously done something right.
Well, not by much, Capes. Yeah, like Had said, I scored more points in one match away than I did at home all season. So
hey, take the positives. You're up to average.
Yeah,
there's something in there. I mean, that meeting you rode at Melton Keynes was just. I was just like, wow, is this Chester?
That's also because he wanted to get one over Craig, but we don't talk about that.
You're in the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good match. That was my favorite, my favourites.
Yeah, but you did up your average, so like Capesy said, so you don't be defeatist.
Yeah.
And
next question.
We have got Mr. Tank in the chat as well.
Oh no, this is going to be fun.
I know it's a bit quiet in the background there. Your average dropped a little bit. What do you think that was down the practicing, or was it just because obviously I know Fax and Ben Thompson have took a back step somewhat different stuff this season, and you're doing a bit too much, or
I would say it's lack.
Blame the captain.
No, I think it was lack of training. Do I think me doing the YouTube highlights was a factor in that? Yeah, there is a possibility in that. I got better as the season went along and got into a rhythm. I guess a little fact that no one really knows, only a couple knows, that by the time the Newport Shield is finished, I would have done 46 meeting highlights, and obviously Ben.
You need to get out more, mate.
Ben Thompson will have done 23, so half of what I've done. So there's quite a lot of of editing gone into that. So that's probably what's obviously contributed to my average decreasing, if I'm honest. In terms of refereeing and riding at the same time, at this point I don't see that as an issue. I'm so used to it at this point. I can't even use that as an excuse. So I just get on with it. It is what it is. But I think it's the lack of training. If I train more, I usually do better. Sometimes I get away with it. I might be lucky, but yeah, I think lack of training was that one for me, if I'm honest.
That is all from me. I have at the minute.
Oh, this new logo we've got
I
on
think,
screen.
I think
Look
we've
at-
heard enough from Casey.
Look at cheers, mate.
Oh yes, yes. Let's talk about this logo.
Pretty, isn't it?
About this logo, very very nice.
Pink makes the boys
Me like,
weak.
me like.
Doesn't mean you're coming back though, mate.
No, that's fine with me. Don't worry about that. I quite like finishing the top half of the table. It's quite nice.
Wait, there we go. Yeah, but didn't we finish bottom when you was with us?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
it must be the guys around you that are better.
Don't forget, because of your brilliant captaincy, I was riding with Bewitcher who's at number 1 for half the season.
That was not my brilliant captaincy. That was false advertisement.
Ah,
That was false advertisement. I'm still waiting for a refund on that.
but
yeah,
if you don't want to sign a rider who can beat Stefan, then that's your loss.
Well, I tried that. Tank beat him this season.
Yeah, thanks, beat him. Look what he done to him.
Yeah. Damn.
Very
I
true.
must be bad luck for you all. It's me. That's what it is. Don't worry. I got it. I know it. Right. Panthers are folding. We won't be back for next season. After this lovely logo's been made. Bloody hell.
Oh, bro.
But yeah, this new logo, it's very pretty. Nice little bit of pink, obviously, to go with the pink gloves, and everyone knows me as wearing nice pink gloves. It's just something different and something to stand out a little bit. I think maybe looking at more logos could be used more. Obviously, I done it on ChatGPT. Don't know if you're allowed to say this on the podcast, but I just did. It's you can make all sorts with that, but I just wanted something a bit different because obviously the Panthers one. Don't get me wrong, it was good, and I appreciate the hard work that went into it. But yeah, this is a bit more in your face. Like, come on, let's have it. Like, you see that on a post, you're gonna think, oh, bloody hell, that's quite a nice logo. Who made that? And I'll be like, ChatGPT.
So not you then personally.
Well, I gave them the idea. They made the logo, so yeah, it's my idea. I had about a 5% input into this.
You commissioned it.
Yeah, that's the one. I need to put a copyright symbol on there somewhere.
5% inputs about the percentage you put into the.
Oh,
team.
here we go. Here we go. Chad, you're lucky I like you. You're.
I wouldn't say it if I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's true. You actually take that back because you bloody would say that. But yeah, it's So who's signing for Panthers next season?
It's gone very quiet, hasn't it?
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Have to see the draft.
Is it a draft, Chester? Are you dropping that in there?
We don't know.
No, leave it.
Be Chester because you're class with averages, aren't you?
Nah, Chester's a bit lower than me, so it's all good. Had to stop making things difficult.
Well, breaking news. Me and Westy are more than likely going to be in the same group.
Westy, this is a shout out to you. Do not bring your team back. I will sign you. I don't want Shads. I do not want Shads.
I won't be a Storm next season.
There's a storm brewing.
Yeah.
Really? But yeah, it's we'll see what happens, isn't it? Maybe if other people want logos making like that, give me ideas and I can make it for them. Or ChatGPT can.
That's not really the way to go.
Yeah, it's well worth it. But yeah, sorry if I've bored you guys.
No, not at all, mate. Not at all. Shads, any closing comments?
No, you're not boring us at all. Not boring us at all. We've had a lot less boring guests than you.
Well, that ain't a
We've had
nice way to talk
we've had
about Chester.
don't forget we've had school on this season.
Oi, did you all see that picture of me and Skoll in the same bed? Like this could. Oh damn! I just looked at my phone quickly and I thought it had changed. Then I panicked a little bit. Yeah, like don't you pick on my Skoll?
Oh, bro.
Is it all right?
We're all just here laughing now.
This was Panthers practice last season.
Yeah, it was when Chester come in and was doing 60 different lines around one track. I'm sorry.
Mate, appreciate that. Thanks for that.
I'm messing.
I think we'll leave it at there then.
No, I'm messing with you all. No, it's
Yeah.
This season is, I'll admit, it's been probably one of the best ones for laughs. Mareki carried us. Cappy, he'll admit it, didn't have the best of seasons, but again, you have Cappy in your team, you're getting a barrel of laughs. Generally,
Yeah,
the nicest bloke that you will ever come across. If you want someone to get drunk and send random photos and videos of shots and alcohol, Cappy's your man. Sign him up. Skyrider again. Yeah, literally. Skyrider again. Like he'll admit, same as Cappy, wasn't his best season. But he's a lad that I'd sign again and again and again. He most of the lads will beat themselves up because they haven't had the best of nights. Chester kept doing it, didn't you, Chester?
Mm-hmm.
And how many times did we say to you, don't worry about it, move on? Remember, it's not life or death, it's a game.
Yeah.
It's something that we do so we don't have to spend time with the family. You know? Like, that sounds quite horrible, but I don't mean it like that. We do it because we love the game.
Yeah.
Tank, Tintin, Chester, all of them. It's been a pleasure to have them in the team. Like they're all top lads. Tintin is like the silent bloke that will just come in, do some laps, be like, "Thank you very much," and then go. And then you see him again. It didn't really say much in the group chats, but absolute wonderful bloke. But yeah, I'm happy with the team. We go again next season. Whether they're with me or not's a different story. But we wait to see the news about the season.
Yes. Well, Cape C, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, as always. And I'm sure we'll get you on at some point next year as well. So yeah, thanks for popping in and giving us your thoughts on the season.
No worries, guys. It's been a pleasure as always. Stay safe and don't drink alcohol.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Cape C.
See you later, lads.
Mate.
Cheers, boss. That was a good chat. I enjoyed that. So we now move on to a very important part of the show, which is the World Championship semi-final draws. And with that, I'm going to hand back over to Mr. Tank.
Thank you very much. Yes, obviously we had a few spaces to fill before the deadline from last week's show, and after the 20 that we had last week, we had the following in Putty, Lofty, Heppel, Pompey, Reese 02, Mareki, Badger Racing, Mark W40 returning, which was nice to see. Super Dip, Tintin were the 30 riders that made up the World Championship before the deadline. So we had the 30 riders, and then we looked at the availability once the deadline had passed, and thankfully all 30 riders managed to get the day that, based on their availability, that they said they could make, and we went ahead and split them up evenly once averages and that. We did it on averages to make sure they were even in ability and everything, and by the time we've done that, there is a 0.06 difference between one qualifier and the other. So it's as close as it can be and very level for both. So it gives everyone equal chance. And obviously, the day that was picked, other than Sunday, I can reveal, is Wednesday the 25th. So, and as you can see, these are the qualifiers and the riders in each one in average order. So on Sunday, from the top, you got Stefan, Racer Ryan, Squall, Wolfie, Dretlocter, Mark W40, Badger Racing, La Sorcier, Lofty, Shads, myself, Rico, Adam McNally, Hobnob, and Hutty83 with no rider 1 at number 16. And on Wednesday, 25th, you have Mareki, Cam, Stephen 101, our very own Hadlington, Unknown, Cappy, Speedy, Veggie, Reese 02, Heppel, Westy Boy, Super Dip, Tintin, Pompey making a return as well, and as we've just heard from the Panthers captain, Capesy, along with No Rider 2. Now it's important to note that with the two No Riders being there, to make life a bit easier, we've automatically assigned them the number 16 position in the draws due to gate balls being easier on the night. So that's where they will be obviously put in automatically, but positions 1 to 15 is open up as we go into the draws to find out the riding order. So we now find out the riding order, which will determine which heat you'll be in your very first heat. And this Sunday is the qualifier 1, and number 1 will be the Dragons rider in Wolfie. He will be at number 1 as our first rider out of the hat for heat 1. Riding at number 2 shall be the BGP champion, pushed all the way by Mareki, Stefan at number 2. Riding at number 3 in heat 1 along with Wolfie and Stefan will be the Dragons captain, and it's Squall. So there's 2 Dragon riders in heat 1. So it'll be an entertaining first heat. We might even see some team riding from the Dragon riders to keep Stefan behind. Never know. And finishing off heat 1 is another Dragons rider. At number 4 will be Badger Racing. So 3 Dragons and a Spartans rider. So that'll be an interesting one.
That's an interesting first race there, isn't it?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Riding at number 5, it's the unattached rider. It's the Finnish. It's a Swedish rider that's ridden in the BGPs. That's Dretlocter. Riding at number 6 will be Lofty. Obviously, he withdrew from the Storm team earlier this season, but it's lovely to see him sign up and making a return. So hopefully, he can do well in this meeting. Return. Riding at
Big love,
number
Lofty.
7. At number 7 is going to be a returnee rider in Mark W40. Not been seen for a couple of seasons, but the last time we rode, I'm pretty sure he rode for the Cowboys. Riding at number 8 shall be Storm's number 1 rider, Sir Ryan. Riding at number 9 shall be
Here he is.
it's Shad.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello there. Hello there. But he's forgotten me.
Never. Riding at number 10 shall be Spartans La Sorcier.
My bogey man. Can never beat him.
Number 11, we shall have myself. Yeah, I do on the night. Probably turn up with
The old,
like
the old 1 minute practice before the meeting,
pretty much.
and then goes and wins his first heat.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. Right, at number 12 will be everyone's favourite biscuit. It's Hobnob. At number 13, it's unlucky for some, but will it be for Rico? We shall see, but probably not. He does quite well when it comes to the championships in the past, generally speaking. So it could be a lucky number for him.
Isn't he an ex-world champion from a few seasons back?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Riding at number 14 is Alan McNally, who's shown glimpses again that he can mix it with riders and score quite well. So hopefully he can do again. And the last rider out of the hat is Huddy83, a former Wolves rider who stepped down early this season. So good to see that he's signing up for the World Championship. And that is your 1 to 15 of the riders for Qualifier 1. That concludes Qualifier 1, and we shall move on to the second qualifier draw to find out the riding order. Now we know the first 15 riders.
Here we go. Place your bet.
The first rider to be drawn, rider number 1 in this meeting, will be Cam, Dragon's rider. He might be pleased with that. But it has a very nice staggered heat throughout the meeting. Riding at number 2 shall be the Wolves rider Super Dip. Has had a bit of an up and down season in terms of form, but individually should be able to mix it. Riding at number 3 shall be Panthers reserve Tintin. Again, not had his best season. Didn't have many home meetings until near the end of the season, but he was always there when it came to the SCS during the season, and got to ride a record what he wanted to do. Riding at number 4 is Geordie's finest and loudest, and that's Heppel. So your first heat is Cam, Super Dip, Tintin, and Heppel. Riding at number 5 is Unknown. So Unknown is at number 5. Joined the Wolves towards the middle to end of the season. Riding at number 6 is Panthers' number 1 rider and push stepping all the way in the BGP and in the averages as well is Meraki. At number 7 it shall be Storm Captain Westy Boy. At number 8 to complete heat number 2 shall be Cowboys Speedy, who will be looking to have a good individual meeting here. That looks like an interesting first heat for them riders. Riding at number 9, a late sign-in for the Cowboys in place of Big Slow Caney is Feshke. Riding at number 10 shall be it's Hadlington.
Oh,
Number 10.
there you go.
And the crowd goes mild.
Definitely wild. At number 11, it shall be Dragons' most improved rider of the season, okay, since joining, and that is Reese 02. At number 12,
Oh, wow.
it will be Stephen 101.
It's a tough first race.
Yeah. Number 13,
Especially off gate one heads.
gonna be Unlucky or Not for Panthers.
Oh,
Cappy.
Ooh.
oh.
Cappy, Capesy, and Pompey in the first, and yeah. Oh,
At number 14, it shall be Panthers captain Capesy. Know what to expect from him in a meeting, or what he will come out with during the meeting. And right at number 15, last one out of the hat, is Pompey making his return to the game this and after not riding this season. And they are your 1 to 15 for the second semi-final on Wednesday, the 25th. And that is your draws. With that, Chester, it's over to you.
thank you very much, indeed. Thanks for doing that for us. We're now going to take a good look at those meetings now, starting with the first qualifier, taking place at Big Gosh on Sunday, the 22nd of February, as Hank alluded to at the start of the draw there. I think this one is the easier of the two semi-finals if you're like a top-end rider. I'm going to bring you all in if I can, one by one, just to get your thoughts. Havlington, you are, if you're in the second semi, Shaz, I think Shaz has just disappeared. Here he is now. So, Shaz, I'll start with you first if I can, boss, because you're in this first semi-final. Your thoughts going into this one?
My thoughts. Two gate ones to finish with isn't great. At least one of them's against no rider. So if I remember to jump back out the fence when I fence myself, I should go to a point.
So some tricky heats for you there, boss.
He's a tricky heat this season.
Yeah.
Especially when you're riding with Hobnob in the same team when he's blocking you every time you're trying to get past. Not great.
I guess for you,
Anyway, I digress.
what's the
Well,
target for you for the meeting?
the target is to finish eighth. That's the target. How I get there, whether it's two points in every race, or win here and there, the target is just to get into the final. So finishing eighth, that's the target.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Make a couple of gates would be nice. That'll help a little bit.
Have you done main laps on the track so far?
Yeah, done a few here and there last few days with Cam and TJ and a few other guys. I've got some idea of what the line is. Whether I can stitch it for 4 laps is another question. But no, we'll be giving it a go. Could be my last meeting of the season. Maybe not.
And you'll come back.
No. I'll be back this season. Just the last meeting of this season. No, I'll be back.
Of course, yes.
I'll definitely be back.
Yeah. And
unless they change the all-fall back rule.
Yeah. Had being a neutral from this meeting, what's your take on this semi-final?
I think you have to look, obviously, the qualifiers. I think you're going to put Stefan, Squall, maybe Dretlock, Race of Iron based on form from this season. And I think the other 4 spots could be absolutely anybody's. It depends, obviously, with Lofty, if he's done much practice as well. Wolfie as well. Now he's not got as much time as he used to. And the Sauciers, Handy, Shads, Tank, it all depends, I think, on the practice they put in. And obviously Rico, SCS champion there. So, yeah, it's going to be tough meeting. I think the inside gates, as Chad mentioned, from the few laps I've done, is not great. So we'll have to see how that works out. Hopefully, I can find some recordings from this one and use them for the later meeting. But I think it's wide open for the last 4 spots in this.
Yeah, and so we'll bring in your second semi-final in a few minutes, but I'll bring in Tank if I can as well. Tank, your thoughts on this one? Of course, you're in this one too. Outside gates for your final 3 races. What's your aim and target for this meeting?
Going on history when it comes to the World Championships, I generally do very well in it. I can have a below par season and then I come into the World Championships and I can usually do well. And I think out of all the times I've been on the game since I joined, I think I've failed to make a final 3 or 4 times, I think, and only failed to make it on 2 seasons in a row. So I've got good form. I will need to obviously do some laps to obviously attempt to get into the final. So there is that part of it. So it remains to be seen. But in the meeting overall, it'll be competitive. Every meeting's going to be, every individual is. So can't take anyone lightly. So yeah, like you mentioned, and that is like Rico obviously being the SCS champion. He'll be up for this. He's won the SCS, so there's no reason why he won't go into this going for the final and going to win it, because he's got that confidence. And I think that'll lead to some good races, along with Stefan being in this one, and expect him to be up there. If I was to look at it from a neutral, excluding myself, I think there's a surprise rider that could potentially make it into the top 8 and deserves it for, well, fun factor, not taken seriously, but, and that I would hope that Hobnob would make it. That's my pick. No pressure on him, but he just rides and he just, if it happens on the night, it does. But likewise, I would like to see Mark W40 make his and that into the top 8 to be a surprise rider in the final. But in terms of my heats, I'm pretty happy with them. There'd be some great tussles in there. Gate wise, I probably prefer the outside to the inside. I'm no stranger to an inside gate, and I don't mind them, but I think outside is probably preferable for me on this track.
Okay, thanks for the input there, Tank. And we're now going to switch on to the second semi-final, taking place on Wednesday, again at Bydgoszcz in Poland. And Hads, I will bring you in first of all. You have the same positioning as Tank. You have outside gates in your final 3 races. So again, for you in this meeting, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, hopefully I can use that to my advantage later on if I need some points. Because that first race looks very tough indeed, with 2 dragons and Fakey in there. But obviously that's what these meetings are all about, and hopefully if I can take some league form into this one, then I should be alright and qualify. I think it's more of a case that individually now, because you vote for the team who has done well this season, that more people want to beat you, kind of thing. So yeah, I think I should. Hopefully, I'll be qualifying. But I had a few laps after that meeting the other day, and it wasn't great, to be honest. So I'll have to do a bit more work on that count. But hoping to get those magic 9 points, I think, which I think you'll need maybe to qualify and get into the final is the aim.
Yeah, absolutely. There, Hads. Shads, as a neutral in this one, you've had a look at the program. Who do you see as a potential standout rider, and how do you see the meeting going?
Well, my My pick for the most improved rider is Reese this season. I know he's been at reserve all season, but still to go from where he's been previously when he rode a couple of seasons ago when he could barely get around the track to averaging like 7 points a meeting. I think Reese he's performed really well as you've seen in the SCS and the Dragons this season when he's raced. I know he's missed a few meetings recently with being unavailable, but I think Reese would be a qualifier. I think I can see him definitely finishing in the top 4 or 5 here.
Yeah, Tank. Again, the neutral in this one. The caliber of riders in this meeting, in this semi-final as well, is top notch. Just give us your thoughts on how you think it's going to go.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. Apart from your obvious ones that I feel are odds on to get through, which is like Unknown, Mireki, Speedy I see being up there, and Steven 101. Up to that, I mean, it's anyone's game. Personally, probably you put Cam, obviously, with his season that he's been having as well. I would say I think one rider that would probably stand out in the meeting, if he can bring the form he had in his last individual. It's a similar track shape, so hopefully Heppel being the reserve riders champion this season.
Boo.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
Hank,
that tenor I slipped you there, Tank. There you go, mate. There's that tenor I slipped you.
another sleepless night for Hank.
But hopefully he can bring in that that same belief and intensity to his racing, because when he's on it, yeah, he's worth every penny, as they say, and he would be a pick that if he's on it, he'll be there. But no, it's very competitive. A couple of heats that it could go either way. It's a tough one to call, really.
Yes. Am I correct in saying that, of course, the top 8 from each round go into the grand final at Halifax, or has it not been
Yes.
picked yet? It is Halifax,
Yeah,
right?
it's Halifax, yeah, and the top 8 from each.
Sweet. That's cool. So hopefully we'll have a star-studded lineup for both for that grand final. I wish all the riders the best of luck for that meeting, or for those meetings, should I say rather. We'll have all the action and reaction on next week's show. But until then, we have to say our farewells before we do go. If you like what you see and you enjoy what you've been listening to, just us talking waffle all day, there's the links you need: website, forum, Discord, YouTube, Facebook, and of course Twitter, that gets updated on a regular basis. And I'm sure one of our lovely members will point in the right direction for where you need to go. And with the previews of next week's show, Hank, what have you got?
Well, on next week's episode, we shall have the World Championship Qualifier 1 and 2 reviews to see which of the top 8 actually made it through to the grand final, which is in March, the 15th of March, which is ironically on Mother's Day, so that'll be interesting. And then we've got Shaz's Rider of the Week, and then we shall follow up with the Wolverhampton Wolves season review, which is by yourself, Chester. And then finishing off with the Neil Potter Shield Grand Final first leg preview between the Dragons and the Dragons and the Spartans. So it'll be interesting to see how that one will go. So yeah, that's next week's show.
Brilliant. So with that all being said, Champs, it's been great having you on board as per usual. So don't forget this recording goes onto YouTube 8 o'clock. So I will say a very good night to Haddington.
Good night, Dan. Good night, all.
A good night to Shads.
Good night, everyone.
A good night to Tank.
Good night.
And it's a good night from me, Chester. We'll see you back here next week for All Four Back, episode 96. We're so close to 100. Take care, guys. All the best for your matches in the week coming, and we'll see you all next Friday. Laters.